'Tis I, Marinara Man. 'Tis I. Hey everyone, glad to see you back. Glad to see you looking fresh. So last night, I had the pleasure of finally being able to sit down and watch Zack Snyder's The Justice League. Or the Snyder Cut, if you want to call it that. That's probably what I'll be calling it this entire time. The Snyder Cut, if you don't know, is a 4-hour-long version of the film that came out in 2017. Now, this may just seem like a normal director's cut at first when looking at it from the outside's perspective, but really there's a really intense history with this. Break it down really quickly. In 2017, when they were working on the film, Zack Snyder had directed Man of Steel and Batman v Superman, and this was going to be the third film that he was directing for DC. They're working on it, and he apparently created this 4-hour-long epic, and then tragedy struck him and his family, and it sucks to have to continuously bring that up when talking about this film, so I'm not going to mention it again, but he unfortunately had to leave the project. DC brought in Joss Whedon, obviously director of Avengers and Avengers Age of Ultron, to come and finish the film for him. Whedon basically took the 4-hour version. He saw it as a whole and cut it down to 2 hours, added his own scenes into it, added his own flavor, added some Joss Whedonisms to different characters, for better, for worse. That's the film we got back in 2017. That's the film I saw back in 2017. It's a film I've rewatched and have liked less every time I've seen it. Ask anyone that I talked to about this before. I was pretty apologetic about the original film. I wasn't hateful on it. I didn't dislike it really. It was light and bubbly. It was kind of that Marvel-y feel that I was used to already with these kind of movies, so it didn't really matter to me that it felt really out of place for these characters, and so I didn't mind the film. I also had a time in my life where I was pretty accepting of any kind of schlock that got sent my way. It actually ended up in my top 20 of the year. It has since fallen off for 2017, but hey, you can always claim that. But looking back now, I was obviously a little incorrect. I was a little blindsided by my love for these characters and everything. But that being said, I had high hopes for this film because, like I said, if I already appreciated the original, this version, I straight up was like, this is gonna be something good, like straight up good, not guilty pleasure good, not laugh at it because it's bad kind of good, like straight up quality. And wow, when you make a 4-hour-long movie, you gotta have a story to tell. 4 hours might be a problem for some people. I'll get that out of the way immediately. 4 hours might be a problem for some people, and I agree, it's long. However, when you're watching it, it doesn't feel like 4 hours. Obviously, when 4 hours have passed, you're like, wow, I just watched a lot. I know not everyone's like me. I know not everyone can watch 2 movies in a row normally, so 4 hours is just kind of that. The film is broken up into chunks. It has 7 chapters, including 6 chapters normally, and then an epilogue at the end. So if you want to watch it in 7 chunks, you could. If you want to watch it as 7 episodes of a TV show, however you want to digest the film, it's available to you. People have said it works as a 4-part show as well. I don't really see it. You really have to time it out yourself to do that. It's been an hour, let's stop. It seems weird to me to do it. I'm glad I didn't break it up because it works so cohesively as one whole that breaking it up would seem silly to me. But having it all together, especially because there's been discussion on whether or not there should have been 2 different movies, because it shouldn't have been 2 different movies. The first half is supplementary to the second half, but the second half is supplementary to the first half, but combined, they're greater together. So if there were 2 separate films, it would be like when, for a long time, they used to cut books up into 2 halves when they didn't need to, like your Harry Potters and your Hunger Games and stuff, and the first half was always the weaker of the 2, because it's like, what is this? This is just set up for the finale. Just give me the finale. That's exactly what this would have been. So having it be one whole makes more sense to me. Still, 4 hours is a long time. I'm not going to deny it. So if you have to watch it in chunks, watch it in chunks. If you have to watch it in halves, watch it in halves. The 7 parts, do the 7 parts. I will say that the epilogue is clearly the epilogue, so probably watch that with the last part So 6 parts really. But now we got that burden out of the way. The next hurdle to get over is the aspect ratio. The black bars hanging out on the side of the screen. The film is shot in IMAX, and it's shot to look in IMAX, but the problem is that none of us have IMAX TVs, because those don't exist, and IMAX theaters aren't open to show this movie. So what happens is that it looks like it was shot to be 4:3, like how old TV was. Honestly, at first it's a little, I wouldn't say jarring, but I wouldn't say good either. It's weird at first, especially with scenes that we've seen before. If you've seen the original, seeing them in this new boxy form is strange. However, after a little while, you just kind of forget that it's there. You just kind of go with it. I'm a big stickler for, like, I like my full screen to be used. I don't like having boxes on the side. But if that's the way it's presented, that's the way it's presented, and I'm not going to complain about it. So the film itself, we've talked this long, we haven't even gotten to the meat of it. So this is spoiler free, you don't gotta worry about that. But we'll talk about some of the characters, some of the story. Story-wise, it's pretty damn similar to the original 2017 version at its core, but there's so much more here that it's not even, like, comparable to that original one, because this is so much better in every single way. You think of any scene in that original film, this film is better at doing that scene. Any scene that you're like, yo, that was my favorite. I liked when Wonder Woman took out all those guys in that, was it a bank or a museum or I don't know what it was, but whatever. And that was my favorite part. That scene's better. Even something, you think of your worst scene, the worst scene in the film. It was a dumb joke. Like, it was a stupid joke when Flash is just being annoying the whole time. Flash is way better, and that's another good point, is that, like, every character is better. The Flash has a full story. We get to see more of his dad and more of his backstory and more, like, what he's doing and why he's doing the things he's doing. Same with Cyborg. We get so much more with Cyborg. Cyborg is fully fleshed. Pun not intended. But he's such a well-made character in this. Batman, I wouldn't say has more to do. He has about the same to do, but, like, he's better at doing it. He's not, like, grumpy in this one. He's, like, Batman-y, which is good. Wonder Woman is better in this. Like, the Amazons alone have more stuff in this. Again, like, if that was your favorite scene, oh, man, I love the Themyscira stuff. That's my favorite stuff. Well, boy, howdy, is it a lot better here, too. Like, anything you could think of about that original is better. It's better. Any flashbacks you could think of, any cameos you could think of, better. Straight up better. Batman's better. Wonder Woman's better. Aquaman's better. Flash is better. Cyborg is better. Steppenwolf is better. The villain is an important part of the story, and he's better. He has, like, character, and he has things to do other than just be in the way. Like, he's important. He's cool. He's cool now. That's great to say that. I straight up do not get how they looked at the 2017 one and were like, that's good. It definitely was just business decision. Make it 2 hours, fill as many seats as we can, let's recoup some money, because the original is one of the most expensive films of all time, and it doesn't show. It doesn't show. This version, estimated cost of what, 70 million, 80 million to fix it? Obviously, cost before, whatever. DC, with, like, estimated $370 million, made 2 movies, and they made 1 flop. They made 1 incredible epic of a film. And that's the thing, too, is the word epic is being tossed around again to describe the film, which it should, because this is a film epic. The way I would describe an epic is a film 3 hours or longer, telling a large story. It has to be long, it has to be big, and it has to know, like, what it is the whole way through. It has to make you feel like you went on a journey, because that's really what epic means. Because when you think about it, like, films aren't 4 hours anymore. They're not. They're 2 hours. When Endgame was 3 hours, people were like, what? That's so long. How are we going to sit there for 3 hours? Like, it's too long. I'm like, it's not too long. I want more 3-hour movies. I want more movies like that. Obviously, I love my hour-and-a-halfers. You know, get in, get out, quick story. There's no problem with that. But longer stories give filmmakers more time to breathe. They give them more time to tell the stories they need to tell. And it's very, very cool to be able to think that, like, if something like this can get made, this is against all odds this film exists now. And I've seen it. I've seen parts of it twice. I have gone back and watched some scenes again, and it's pretty damn good again. This is something special, and it leans to a brighter future where, you know, film epics aren't dead. We might get another Lawrence of Arabia someday. We might get another Ben-Hur someday. I get, like, oh, it's The Godfather. Yeah, it's The Godfather. And then there was The Irishman, which I didn't love. I love this more, regardless. Saw score. Now, I've been thinking about this for a while, and it's hard because I don't know. This is the thing. Bring that back down. So, when discussing the score, I rallied around in my head two numbers, and they're very high numbers, and it's the idea of, well, one of them's a safe bet, and one of them's like a, does it bet? And I always like teeter on this number, but I want to say, so I'll score 9 out of 10. High 9. Potentially low 10. Obviously, I have problems. I think some of the CGI is a little sometimes. The music, while good most of the time, that operatic thing when Wonder Woman shows up is a little overdone. I think Wonder Woman's theme is great. I think a lot of the music is fantastic, but the little operatic thing that happens a lot when she's doing stuff, and I get it, but it's like, whatever. I loved it. Expect me to talk about it again at the end of the year. The top 20. This is definitely by far the more superior film. Honestly, watching this makes me like the original one so much less. And like I said, I like the original one, but I'm afraid to watch it now. But that's kind of a good thing, being honest, because artistic integrity is important, director integrity is important, story integrity is important. I'm happy this film exists. I'm happy for all the fans. I'm happy for everyone that pushed for this film to exist, that it exists, and it's good. Because, man, would it have sucked if this film came out and it was bad. Man, would it have sucked to happen. But it didn't. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. It's here. I can't wait to own it one day. Slap it right down in the Z section for Zack Snyder's Justice League. Not next to the original. I'm not calling it the Justice League Snyder Cut. As always, if you like this, make sure you like this. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you at some point.
Marinara man. Marinara man. Marinara man. Marinara man.